Rev up your engines. Okay, today's an interesting one. It's a $1,000 Mustang SVT. They only made about 1,500 of this particular design. And hey, what did he get for $1,000? Well, now he got it so cheap because his cousin had it and blew up the supercharger, so it sat for 4 years, just kind of fading away. And he decided to bring it back to life. Now, as we look under the hood, there it is. Interesting enough, it's still the original supercharger. These guys have machine shops and they rebuilt this thing. Would have cost a ton of money to buy another one, but his cousin didn't take care of it. It blew up, threw shrapnel everywhere, but they cleaned it all out, rebuilt it, and now, unlike the original stock, this thing puts out about 700 horsepower at the wheel, not at the crank, at the wheel. It's a real screamer. You'll hear it and see it in a little while. Now, it's still got the original block, but it was rebuilt, so it can go up to 8,000 RPMs, and you can see, there it is, Mustang Cobra engine, and it shows hand-built, has the guy's signature on it. You can't really read it anymore, but it looks like Paul W. Being a Cobra SVT, it is a 5-speed manual transmission, and hey, the seats are still in pretty good shape. Convertible top, that's going to be replaced at some point in time. It's still there. Got the Cobra brakes on it, rear in the front and in the rear. Slotted and drilled. Now, you don't see too many superchargers these days. I personally like them because you get instant speed, you don't have turbo lag, and for those of you, if you're thinking about souping something up, it's a lot easier to bolt on a supercharger than it is to do a turbocharger, changing the exhaust, and all that crap. So, this thing is a veritable monster. Of course, it also requires monstrous amounts of money to buy gasoline, but you're going to expect it. This is not an everyday driver. It lives in the garage. Even though it lived outside for 4 years, nobody was driving it then. Now, they've added some nice touches. They put this beautiful wrap on it. There's no carbon fiber here. It is a wrap, but it looks like carbon fiber. It really has a nice look. Of course, it's got side pipes on it. And as we look inside, we'll get my giant scan tool out. Now, this thing's been highly modified, so we'll see if the scan tool is going to hook it up good. You never know when they're highly modified. It's beeping. That's good news. Nope, won't read the VIN number. So, he's going to read me the VIN number. Here we go. All right, let's see what happens here. Well, it knows it's a Ford. It thinks it's real. 7 up. Hey, it does. 4V Mustang manual. It knows. And we'll scan everything. Here it goes. While it's scanning, we'll look. His air-fuel ratio and his boost for the supercharger. The big question is, does the AC still work? Okay, it's a Ford, but beyond that, it has no AC compressor, so the air works when you roll the windows down and take the top up. Not bad for an old Ford. It's only got 3 codes, and some of these faults might even be due to it being heavily modified. Let's take a look at them. Now it's doing its Ford test. You hear buzzes and clicks. It's running through everything. I'm not doing that. That is one loud fuel pump. Got the nice curved dash. These seats are still in excellent shape. Wow. Well, I lied. He bought these on Amazon for $3.75 a pair. Look, they're very comfy, form-fitting. And the back, you can see they're still original because the leather's crinkly, but they're still okay. I call it a ZVAP emission vapor management fault. Ha! Who cares? See, now he lives in Massachusetts. It's too old in Massachusetts, so it doesn't have to do anything but the safety inspection. 15 years old, Massachusetts doesn't do emissions anymore, so he doesn't have to worry about any of that nonsense. We'll erase it anyways. There goes checking things again. No, they're not drilling for oil. That's the fuel pump. The other code is, check of all systems is not complete since last memory clear. So, we'll erase that one too. So, we'll get rid of all that nonsense and we will start it up, but first things first. Man, this baby has a stiff clutch. Yes, that's the car. It's a whistling supercharger. Look at live data now. Remember, black's good, red is bad. Voltage is good. Look at this. No misfires. It knows there's a fault in the evap, but we don't care. We don't care anything about this evap. They don't need it. It's not inspected anymore. It's more than 15 years old. And it lives in Massachusetts. We got the fuel tank pressure, no faults in the fuel injection, no faults in any of the injectors, voltage is good, fault in the secondary air injection, another anti-pollution thing that we don't care about. Now you see the short-term fuel trim isn't that bad, it's subtracting a little bit, but with these superchargers that's pretty much normal. Interesting, it's showing the torque converter slip, but it doesn't have a torque converter. This is a manual transmission. Somebody screwed up there, and it wasn't me. So let's take it for a spin. Off we go. You can hear it whistling, and it's not whistling Dixie either. We're going down the road, whistling and humming. We'll see what it does on the highway. Now, I gotta use this for a drag car, so we're gonna have a really tight suspension system. We'll do some bouncing around, but you want to be able to control it, see, when you're going 155 miles an hour. Not that we're going that fast today. And here we go. Woo! Listen to that sound. Wow, that is a sweet sound. Boy, that thing's fun. You better like loud noises, though. If you don't like loud noises, you're not going to like this car. As the owner said, it's the best $1,000 he ever spent. And really, he said he's only put about $3 grand or so into it. Mustangs can be fixed economically if you want to. Listen to that V8. Whee! Well, not bad for a $1,000 car and $3,800 more. Hey, what are you going to get today? You know, an old Corolla or something? Hey, this thing's a lot of fun. Mustangs can be a lot of fun, depending on how far you want to go. And he went pretty far with this, with 700 horses at the rear wheel, so I'd say the money was well spent, even though it's got 140,000 miles on it. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Missing link says, my Honda transmission slips when it's cold. Got an 05 Honda Pilot with 240,000 miles. When I start it in the morning, the engine will rev up to 2,500 before the car moves. Does it forward and reverse. Can we do anything to help this? Just flat wearing out. You know, those transmissions are relatively weak. You're lucky you got 200-something thousand miles on it. You're going to have to get rebuilt or you're going to have to get another vehicle. There's no way out of that. Now, if you want to try, I don't really advise it, but what the heck, it's going out anyways. You could try some of that Lucas anti-slip stop transmission additive. If it's a quart, drain a quart out of your transmission, then pour a quart of the Lucas in and pray. Now, I don't normally advise doing anything with Hondas because they're so touchy, but yours is slipping, it's going out. So maybe it'll help it a little, but realize if you're planning on keeping the vehicle at any point in time, price what another transmission is going to cost you because it's going to need one. It's on its way out. That's just the way it is when they get that many miles on a Honda. You start up and it revs up real high before it goes. It's just flat wearing out inside. It's going to need either a total rebuild or buy a ready remanufactured one and give them yours as a trade-in. That's the better way. There's people that know how to rebuild them. There's one place in Ohio, they do a really good job. All they do is Hondas. And you deal with a company like that if you want to keep the vehicle. But I mean, if you want to just try, you can try some of the Lucas stop slip, but like I say, it probably won't help it because that's how those wear when they wear out. And it's got 200-something thousand miles on it, so it's at its end of its lifespan. Here's one that I love. The world's largest battery manufacturer labels solid-state technology unsafe for cars. Now, Cattle, not like the moo cattle, but CATL, Chinese battery maker, they're the largest battery manufacturer in the world, their CEO says, hey, solid state isn't the silver bullet that people are claiming it's going to be. He knows what he's talking about. He says solid state batteries are impractical and unsafe in their current form for cars. He thinks sodium-ion batteries are a better fit. He claims that solid-state batteries, as they stand today, are impractical and unsafe. I've been investing in solid-state batteries for 10 years. I watch the development people working on solid-state every month. I know the progress, and somehow we still have showstoppers. The big issue is an entirely new type of chemistry is required, one that uses pure lithium metal for the anode electrode, which introduces more problems. it must be kept under extreme pressure, which poses a threat when the batteries expand during recharging. And the lithium in these batteries can react with oxygen if the battery housing's pierced in an accident, which can release toxic lithium hydroxide, which could harm the vehicle occupants, emergency service, and other road users. We support solid state, he says, but it's not the commercially viable silver bullet it's been made out as. So, they're all saying, oh, that's the miracle, it's going to save us all, solid state batteries. He's saying no. And this is a guy who's got a PhD, and he runs the biggest battery company in the world. And he's saying, don't get this magic bullet. This magic bullet might end up hitting you. They've been working on solid state batteries for a long time, just like they've been working on nuclear fusion instead of fission. We have fission reactors, right? And they claim they're dangerous, whatever. The fusion ones can put out immense power, but they need real high temperatures. And they've been talking about that forever. And every month or year, you see, we got fusion now, and it's for 1/1000th of a second, enough to run a toaster or something, right? They're so far away from being reality, make your head spin, right? I've met physicists who say, I don't think that'll ever be possible. And these are guys that have worked in the field their whole lives. So this guy has been working for ages in batteries is saying, don't think solid state batteries are going to be the silver bullet that are going to save us all. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.